Hey y'all, what is going on? It's me, Delores, the pastor's daughter, and I'm back. Look at me. Look at me doing two videos in one day. Three videos if you count the Facebook Live I did this morning. Okay, look at me. So, hey, what's up, you guys? Let me tell y'all what happened. I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook memories sometimes, sometimes it remind you when you wasn't so smart. Okay. But sometimes it reminds you of a time when you were speaking nothing but truth. You were speaking truth to power. You were speaking facts, honey. Okay. And that is exactly what happened today. I got this Facebook memory and I just got it like a few minutes ago. I watched about 8 minutes of it. It's less than 10 minutes, you guys. It's a less than 10-minute video. So stick with me here and listen to this video that I created on Facebook a year ago to the day, right? And it reminds me so much. I'm telling you, like, God is so divine, okay? First of all, it's me, Delores Pastor, okay? You guys, listen, subscribe to the page, like the video, do all the things, okay, to keep up with everything that I'm doing. So, anyway, yesterday I went live and I was telling you guys about the change that my father has not made, right? And I was the video that I did yesterday, I think it was like, why talk about what God can do when you could be the example, right? So my father, he went through this whole spiel about, he started talking about narcissism in his sermon. And he said, over the last few years, he's been hearing, you're a narcissist, you're a narcissist, you're a narcissist, or whatever, right? And so then he went into talking about how this pastor told him that he doesn't believe that that God can save a narcissist. So then my father went into this whole spiel about, well, God can do anything but fail and all of this other stuff, right? Saying all the gaslighting stuff, right? This, you guys, that's spiritual gaslighting, okay? Because first of all, yes, God can do anything, right? We know God can do anything but fail, but the person has to want to be saved. A person has to want to change. A person has to want to be better. In order for that to happen, like, God does not push himself on people. That's not how that works. So he was really gaslighting you guys when he said that, right? The point is that he's simply not going to change. And so I was thinking about, my the video I did yesterday, and I actually have like the video clip from his sermon that I want to share with you guys, but not during this time, right? Not on this video. We're going to do that maybe later today or tomorrow. But for this video, I want y'all to take a look at this video I did a year ago, okay? When I was talking about the exact same thing. I'm telling you guys, he's so funny, okay? Like, God has a sense of humor in this thing. And of course, I got a sense of humor, even though I experienced, some traumatic events in my life, and I'm I'm still very disappointed in my father. I'm not happy about his behavior. I'm not happy about his lack of change, but we still know that that's what we are to expect from the narcissist. I really consider my story and this thing that's going on with my father to be like a case study, right? And we can see how, like, when we really get into the weeds of things, into the trenches of it, we can see how a person will really try to hold on to a persona that they have built their entire lives on, like creating, right? They've created this persona their entire lives, just like he has. And so he's invested in just keeping this going. And even though in my mind, I think that a change would be more beneficial to him. I think that he would be more productive. He would actually benefit greatly from changing. There is something there that just will, like, he just holds on to this very harmful and toxic person that he is, right? So, y'all, I'm not even going to talk anymore. I'm just going to let me from a year ago, okay? I'm going to let me from a year ago talk to y'all. And really, this was a video series that I was doing where I was like really talking to my father directly. And I don't think I didn't play a video by him. I just put him up on the screen because I didn't feel that it was like safe or beneficial or helpful for me to confront him personally, like, or in real life or whatever. So I just put up his picture. So it's like I'm talking to him. I'm telling him how I feel and all of that. So you guys take a look at this. And then I want you guys to just make a comparison from yesterday's video about how I was talking about, again, my father's lack of change. And y'all can see the difference between now and a year ago. Okay. And y'all let me know what y'all think about it. So without further ado, child, let me play this video. I think you should probably just, I don't know. The first step to me, admitting that you have a problem. I don't know what the likelihood of that happening is, though. I would say slam to none, actually. Because what you do is you admit just enough to endue your humanity, to make them believe that your decisions were a result of your circumstances, that it was a consequence of your surroundings, of the injustices of the world, and racism and white supremacy and the devil and everything else but you. Everything else but you. I always think about this, this notion of leaving a legacy, you know. I think that's a really big thing among men. So like, what legacy? You gotta leave a legacy, you're leaving a legacy. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I get how you try to make your legacy my responsibility. Now, I do believe that I am part of your legacy. I am part of your legacy because you helped to create me and raise me, and it just is what it is. But let's be clear here. Your legacy is a mess. Your legacy is a pile of the living dead souls that are just walking around looking crazy because they're following you. Another dead soul, another dead man walking. Narcissists are dead people. You are dead inside. And that's your legacy. That's the legacy that you care so much about, that you try to make my responsibility, that you try to place on my shoulder. It wasn't like you were actually trying to build anything, because I could have got behind that now. Let's just be clear. Okay? Because the problem wasn't that I you or that see that there was potential, But it's just like, what is potential? What is potential? And do we hold on to this notion to fruition? We were hoping again would happen, knowing you were that to happen for yourself. And everything you did was in an exploit into people. You never had sustainable and help and right desire to do those things. Be of yourself. Legacy exactly. What are you proud of in this moment? What can you look back on and say, I did that? Because once upon a time, it used to be me. You used to look at me and say, I did that. That's my legacy there. That's the one of my children that is going to make me look like I'm I'm gonna look my like the father. I'm gonna look like, but you are not. You are me. Is do this. You, you like you every tool away opportunities is that you breathing to choose this that building on that screen behind you. You're trying to protect. No. Who's going? Who do you think student when you yourself you because if you are a teacher and you have the lesson you've been trying all these years, these decades that you're a preacher, you yourself were teaching, you are trying. What you did was you were angry, more hateful, and you think because you to get after week behind, but you make a microphone, you're singing, preaching, your thing changed. A real. Like, anybody's learning anything from you, it's what not to do, which I support in and but want to allow to do. Life building. Think of you and and that's because you're supposed to rise to that you have this all these years. Never actually got inside. Never. Give up love when so sad and lonely. Y'all, I think I was having some connections and that kind of broke up my video a little bit.
When God delivers on that thing you prayed
I think it was having to be having though. Hold on. This all these Yeah, I think that was giving me some connection issues. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me okay? Y'all, I think I was having some connections and that kind of broke up my video a little bit. Yeah, I think it was giving some connection issues. Let me go back. I'm going to go back because I don't want you guys to miss. I'm going to go back about and again, like the things that I was saying, and you know, there was like this there was this time where I could not watch my own videos, right? Like I couldn't watch the videos that I had done because I just like I felt the ways. I just felt like I felt really uncomfortable, really unsure. Um, just I just felt I just didn't feel right. And so I just would never go back and watch the videos. I was still like most of the time still do them, but I just couldn't go back and watch them. But when this one came up and I saw my facial expression, I saw like I was looking at my body language and all of that stuff. I was like, let me watch this, because apparently I was really like feeling a ways. And so I just wanted to kind of like kind of listen to how I was feeling in that moment. It's crazy, like right when I was making a video where I was talking about still the lack of change that my father has made, and that he has this stance of, talking about narcissism as if he's not a narcissist. And now I'm thinking that, that I'm saying it, I'm thinking that that's probably his new game. Now he wants to like act like he's talking about narcissism as if he has some reflection or that he has something to really add to um to our knowledge base. And yes, I mean he absolutely does. But just like I was saying in the video yesterday, and just like I said in this video that was from a year ago, that what he adds, the value that he adds of narcissism is what not to do. And so we don't need to look to him as if, he's some great person that we need to follow, or that we even really need anything from. But if we're really being honest about it, and we have to admit that we can learn a lot from narcissists. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that we need to be feeding them. I don't think that we need to be like enabling them. And I think that we are getting to the point where we are like enabling their behavior. Well, we've already been at that point, y'all. Okay. We are enabling their behavior. We're funding them. And we are funding them over the people that they have actually victimized, who have a different view of it. And I think that we're a little wrong by doing that. I created this thing called the Broke Clock Chronicles, right? Because that's one thing that my father always tried to push, is that, a broke clock is right twice. We People don't have discernment in order to know that, hey, that's a broke clock, and that even though it's gonna be right twice a day, it's not really right. It's broke. But people don't really have the discernment to recognize that. Instead, they're going by that clock 24 hours a day, never realizing that they can only take a portion of what that person says or what that person does as actual fact or truth or authenticity or sincerity or anything. And so we're listening to these books, and of course, they're giving us wrong information, or they're giving us half truths, or they're totally distorting the information that we need. So we don't need to be like encouraging these people and, funding these people. We need to be more discerning about where we put our money and our resources and our support. And it's not with these type of people that all we're doing is feeding that sickness. And if we're feeding them, then they have absolutely no incentive to actually change. They are still doing harmful things, except they're just telling you that they're doing them. And you feel that that's valuable information that you need. No, I can tell you what they do. You don't need to get it from him. I could tell you. I told you guys a year ago that he's not going to change. And then yesterday, again, you saw confirmation of this stance that he's taking, that he's not going to change. Instead, he's deflecting and saying, well, God can do anything but fail. So then if he still does not change, or you still don't see any change in him, does that mean that God is the failure? No, he's the failure. And so that's what people don't have the discernment to really recognize. And I just believe that in this day and time, that until you have really like activated your discernment, and that you are using it, that you feel comfortable being able to discern in these situations, that you need to like pull away from them. If I'm telling you that my father is an abusive pastor, that he spiritually abused his members, that he abused me and my siblings and my mom growing up, and that he continued to display harmful behaviors and inflict harmful things on us, then why do you feel like you need to go to his church so that you can experience it yourself? Like, intelligent people, smart people do not have to make their own mistakes in order to learn from mistakes. You learn from other people's mistakes. You learn from other people's experiences. That's part of discernment. You don't have to actually go to his church and experience the spiritual abuse in order to know, in order to believe that he's a spiritual abuser. I'm telling you, and I'm giving you the evidence. Yet I'm still seeing, I still get on his live because I just find the need to just, like just see where he's at, see where he's at spiritually, where he's at, as my father, and I feel like I'm well within my rights to do that. So it is really not really gonna matter if anybody tells me, or anybody comments on why I go over there and I look at his stuff. Like, don't worry about that. Don't even waste your time putting that in nobody's comments, okay? I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna watch him. I feel like that's my personal mandate, is to police up my own father. And I suggest every other daughter do the same thing, because it's not okay. It's not okay for me as a daughter to know, or to to like be okay with him abusing anybody else's daughter in any way, even if that person doesn't know that they're being abused, does not make it okay. If they don't know that they're being manipulated and controlled, that still doesn't make it okay. I know that they are. And I know that that is not God's desire for us, is to be deceived, to be abused, to be mistreated. God's desire is for us to love one another, to walk in our purpose, and you'll never reach that point if you're being abused, if you're being manipulated, if you're being controlled, especially by a spiritual leader. So, I deem it to be my personal mandate that I am on top of this stuff, somebody has to be, you know what I'm saying? So I am going to just play the last little bit of, well, half of that video. You guys saw that it was a very short video. So just hang with me for a minute and let me play that for you, because it cut off. But things that I said, and it was more of a plea and an appeal, and kind of like a bit of a realization for me that no matter what I do, no matter what I say in my efforts, I'm not going to be able to actually affect change within my father. But that doesn't mean that I need to, tuck tail and just, stay in my little corner. No, because I believe that at this point, Other fathers are being impacted by what I say. Other daughters are being strengthened and empowered and enriched by what I say. Maybe it's not helpful for my father because he is just determined to be who he is and whatever, but it may be helpful for your father. It may be helpful for a future father, to see like, I need to watch my behavior. I need to make sure that I'm not driving my kids from God and their true purpose, and that I'm creating a safe space for my children to survive and thrive and be their best selves. I think that I'm, a pretty successful person. I have multiple degrees. I have 2 master's degrees. I have 2 beautiful, wonderful sons. I have a very healthy marriage. I've been able to accomplish some things in my life. I'm a retired Army captain. I wrote a book, that's an international bestseller. So, by all accounts, I have been successful, right? But that's with my father's opposition. That's with his abuse. So imagine if I had gotten the support from him. And don't for 1 second think that because he was that way, I'm this way. Yeah, his behavior impacted my life and who I ultimately became. But you guys have to realize, like, I have illnesses, you know, and I have, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I have issues from the things that my father did to me, you know? So even though people will say, well, what doesn't kill you will make you stronger. Well, okay, well that's a little bit of a gaslight statement, because in a lot of ways, I don't feel stronger. I feel like if I had a supporting father, if I had a father, or what if, he wasn't all that great of a father to begin with, but he turned out, he decided to change his life, and that he was actually the pastor that he portrayed himself to be, then how much stronger would I be right now? How much stronger would my brothers be? Um, maybe he and my mom would still be together. Maybe he would have a successful, thriving church where people were enriched instead of the droves of people that he pushed away from the church that still don't go to church to this day because of the spiritual abuse that they experienced from him. So it's important that we hold these people accountable instead of giving them credit for making our lives harder than it needed to be. So let me show you guys just this last little snippet of this video that didn't play. And then I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to take me a juicy nap. I have a line dance class tonight. And then I'm going to come back. I want to come back and talk to you guys again this evening. And I want us to do like a little bit of a compare and contrast from um, this particular video in comparison to the video that my father did yesterday where he was talking about narcissism in his sermon. So let me and pull this back up for you guys. Hold on 1 second. Just don't mind liking the video. Just go ahead and like the video. And then at the bottom of the screen here, what you see like kind of trying to cover me up is the QR code for the Kingdom Code app. Okay, you guys, I want you guys to join my app. It's a community of discerners, right? It's a community of people who are discerning individuals. So we'll be talking about a lot of this case and other cases that we come across where we can really get some good discerning practice off of, right? One really good way to increase your discernment is to practice discernment and to really like kick your ideas and your thoughts off on other people who are discerning, like myself, and like a part of the community. Okay, so here is this video. Here we go. Uh-oh. And I'm just going to let this play. My legacy right there. That the one of my children that is going to make me look like I'm good. Look like the father myself to be. I'm going to look the lister that I'm portraying myself to be, but you are not. You are not. And it is your legacy that is telling you that this is not it. You didn't do this. You ruined this. Like, I believe that God gave you every tool to be successful, and every tool in the way of people, opportunities, places. He gave you life. And every day that you wake up breathing and you still choose to do this, you still choose this, that sign in that building on that screen behind you is what you're trying to portray. You're trying to portray yourself as now. Who do you think is going to fill those seats? Who do you think is going to be a student in your school when you yourself are not a student? You are not teachable. Because if you were teachable, then you would have learned the lessons that you've been trying to teach everybody else for all these years, these decades that you have been a preacher. If you yourself were teachable, then you yourself would have learned those lessons that you are trying to teach. What you did was you grew more angry, more resentful, more hateful. And you think because you have softened your tone a bit, because you continue to get up week after week and get behind the pulpit, because you put on these fancy clothes, because you try to make love to the microphone and preach, you haven't changed. You're not like, if anybody is learning anything from you, it's what not to do, which I suppose is valuable in and of itself. But when are you going to allow your life to be an example of what to do? That's what you have dedicated your life to building. And it's sad to think of that. It's sad. You're sad. And I think you're okay with it. And that's even more sad. Because you're supposed to rise up to the excellence that you have been preaching about for all these years. But what you say never actually permeated. It never actually got inside. It never changed you. I remember when my heart broke. I remember when I gave up loving you. Sad and lonely. sad and lonely, y'all. Sad and lonely. And that sums up the life of a narcissist. Sad and lonely. So that's it. That's it for this stream. I probably will be back later on, probably after the line dance class. I encourage you guys to get active today. Make sure that you starting your week off with intention, maybe being active, getting up early, make your bed, clean your house up, you know what I'm saying? Straighten up some things, maybe get your dinner prepped for the week or something like that. Make sure that you are like being intentional with how you start the week. It has done wonders for me to be more intentional, to get up early, to get my day started, you know. And I always start my mornings with Jennifer LeClaire. You guys have probably heard me talk about her before, but I love her. She starts off the mornings with prayer, and she reads some excerpts from her books and stuff like that. She has a bunch of books, y'all. She is author goals, okay? Her and Tiffany Buckner. Oh my gosh, you guys, they're great. So make sure y'all look them up, okay? Tiffany Buckner and Jennifer LeClaire. And Jennifer LeClaire does some really good prayers in the morning, and that's how I get my morning started just about every morning, okay? She is like right on time. She be faithful with it. She's consistent with it, you guys, okay? So it's like you always know you can get a good old hot prayer from Jennifer LeClaire. Look, I'm gonna send her a little note. I'm gonna say get a hot prayer from Jennifer LeClaire. That's a good little saying right there. Okay, you guys. I love y'all. And if y'all go to her page now, you can just go back and listen to her old prayers and stuff. She keeps them right on there. So y'all go ahead and check those out, okay? And I will just talk to y'all later. And in the meantime, get in the comments and let me know what y'all are discerning from what we talked about today, okay? So what are the facts? What are the observations? What are the experiences that you guys have had or that you have seen that is leading you to make a decision in this type of situation, in the case of the narcissistic pastor, right? So let me know what you guys are thinking, okay? And like the video, make sure that you're subscribed and all of that stuff. It's just gonna get gooder and gooder as we go along, okay? I love you guys. Bye bye for now.